Have you ever felt a little weaker after reheating your favorite meal, or noticed your memory isn't as sharp as it used to be? Many of us quietly accept these changes as just getting old. But what if I told you it might be something hidden in your kitchen? You might think reheating leftovers is harmless, but surprisingly, some common foods can turn toxic when warmed up again, affecting your health in ways you never expected. It's easy to overlook, yet this small habit could be silently putting you at risk for serious issues like cancer or dementia. In this video, I'll share the 5 everyday foods that doctors warn about, and simple tips to keep your meals safe and your body strong. So let's explore this together, because taking care of yourself starts with knowing the truth behind what's on your plate. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. It's a chilly evening, and you've just opened your fridge, searching for something comforting to eat. There's leftover spinach from last night, maybe some potatoes, or that hearty stew with a few pieces of sausage floating on top. You pop the plate in the microwave, waiting for the familiar hum and the aroma to fill the kitchen. For many of us, especially as we get older, reheating food feels like second nature, a small way to save time, money, and even a little energy. It's so ordinary that we rarely give it a second thought. Yet, have you ever noticed that after eating leftovers, your stomach feels a bit unsettled, or you feel oddly sluggish? Maybe you chalk it up to aging, digestion, or just a random off day. But what if the real answer was something most of us overlook? Here's the twist. What if reheating certain foods could be doing more harm than good, especially for older adults? It's not just about taste or texture. Hidden beneath the surface, some common foods can change at the molecular level when heated a second time. They may create compounds that are anything but friendly to your health, with names you've probably never heard before: nitrosamines, acrylamide, and oxidants. Let's break it down simply, without the confusing science jargon. Take nitrosamines, for example. These are chemicals that can form in foods containing nitrates or nitrites, like spinach, celery, or processed meats, when they're reheated. What's the problem with nitrosamines? Well, scientists have linked them to higher cancer risks, especially cancers of the stomach and esophagus. They're tricky because you can't see, smell, or taste them. They quietly work in the background, building up over time. Acrylamide is another culprit, most often found in foods high in starch, like potatoes. When you cook or reheat potatoes at high temperatures, a chemical reaction takes place that can create acrylamide. The trouble is, this compound has been shown in studies to damage nerve cells and even increase the risk of certain types of cancer. Again, it's invisible and undetectable in your meal, but it's there, especially if you're frequently enjoying reheated fries, potato casseroles, or chips. Then there are oxidants, unstable molecules that form during the reheating of food, particularly meats and oils. These oxidants can damage your cells over time, speeding up aging and raising the risk of chronic diseases like dementia and heart disease. The science is clear. As we get older, our bodies become less efficient at neutralizing these harmful molecules. Our immune systems aren't as robust as they once were, and our cells take longer to repair. That means we're more susceptible to the effects of these toxic compounds, even if the damage is subtle or goes unnoticed for years. You might wonder, so, is it that serious? For seniors, yes, it can be. Picture your body as a team working together. Every organ, every cell, every process designed to keep you healthy. As time passes, that team gets a little slower, a little more vulnerable. When you introduce more toxins, even in small doses, your body has to work overtime to cope. For younger people, the system bounces back quickly. For older adults, repeated exposure, say, a few times a week over several years, can quietly chip away at your health. But don't worry, the solution isn't to stop enjoying leftovers or to throw out perfectly good food. It's about making simple, mindful changes. For example, if you love cooked spinach, try to eat it fresh or just cook enough for one meal. When it comes to potatoes, avoid reheating them in the microwave or frying them again. Enjoy them right after cooking, or store them safely and reheat only once, making sure they're piping hot all the way through. With processed meats, try to limit how often you reheat them, and opt for freshly cooked options when you can. Let me tell you about Mr. Howard, a retired teacher from Minnesota. In his late 60s, Howard prided himself on being thrifty, never letting leftovers go to waste. But he often felt tired and noticed some nagging stomach discomfort. After a checkup and a chat with his doctor, Howard learned about the science behind reheating food. He made a few changes, cooking smaller batches, eating more fresh meals, and being careful about what he reheated. Within months, he felt more energetic and even noticed fewer digestive troubles. It wasn't a miracle cure, but a simple adjustment that made a real difference in his day-to-day comfort and peace of mind. The truth is, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to protecting your health in your golden years. You don't have to be a scientist to take smart steps. Just a little awareness and a willingness to tweak your routine can help you enjoy your meals safely, without worry. Remember, it's never too late to care for yourself in new ways. Every small choice adds up. Let's look after our bodies so we can savor every meal and every moment with joy and confidence. 1. Spinach and dark leafy greens. For many of us, spinach and other dark leafy greens have been lifelong staples. Maybe you remember growing up with creamed spinach at the Sunday dinner table, or adding fresh kale to your salad in an effort to eat healthier as you got older. These greens have earned their reputation as nutritional powerhouses, packed with vitamins, minerals, and fiber that support heart, bone, and brain health. Every health magazine seems to tout their benefits, and doctors often encourage us to eat more of them as we age. But here's a situation you might recognize. You buy a big bunch of spinach or collard greens, cook up a hearty batch for the week, and store the leftovers in the fridge. The next night, or maybe even a few days later, you simply reheat a serving for dinner, feeling proud of your healthy choice. It's a routine millions of Americans follow. After all, isn't it sensible and thrifty to make food last, especially when living alone or on a fixed income? Yet what if this harmless habit isn't quite as safe as we think? Here's a question that might surprise you. Could reheating spinach turn this healthy food into a hidden danger, especially for older adults? The answer, according to both doctors and scientists, is yes, and the reason is both fascinating and a little unsettling. You see, spinach and other dark leafy greens are rich in natural compounds called nitrates. Nitrates themselves aren't dangerous. In fact, they help regulate blood pressure and improve circulation. But the trouble starts when cooked spinach is left to cool and then reheated. During this process, harmless nitrates can change form and become nitrites, and from there, even more harmful substances called nitrosamines can develop. These chemical changes are invisible. There's no odd smell, no strange taste, nothing to warn you that your once healthy greens have transformed. So why is this such a concern for seniors? Well, nitrites and especially nitrosamines have been linked to a higher risk of certain cancers, particularly those affecting the digestive tract. Studies also suggest they can damage blood vessels and may even contribute to cognitive decline over time. Older adults, whose bodies process toxins more slowly and whose immune systems are not as strong as they once were, are particularly vulnerable. And while the risk from a single reheated portion is likely small, the danger builds up if it becomes a regular habit. The good news is that the solution is easy and won't force you to give up your beloved greens. If you enjoy spinach, Swiss chard, beet greens, or kale, the safest approach is to cook only what you plan to eat in one meal. Freshly cooked greens deliver all the benefits: vitamin K for strong bones, folate for brain health, antioxidants to fight aging, without any risk from chemical changes. If you do have leftovers, it's best to eat them cold in a salad the next day, rather than reheating them. Let's look at a real-life example. Mrs. Davis, a retired librarian from Ohio, used to cook big batches of spinach soup every Sunday and reheat it throughout the week. She never suspected her routine might be causing her persistent digestive upsets and occasional headaches. But after reading a health article and talking with her doctor, she learned about the risks of reheating leafy greens. Mrs. Davis decided to cook smaller batches and finish them in one sitting. Within a month, her stomach settled down, and she felt more energetic. The difference was subtle at first, but over time, her new habit brought peace of mind and fewer health worries. So, if you're like Mrs. Davis, or like many of us, don't feel discouraged or overwhelmed. This isn't about fear, but about empowerment. By making a small change, you can keep enjoying the foods you love while protecting your health for years to come. Remember, eating well is about more than just the foods you choose. It's also about how you prepare and store them. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. In the end, your health is shaped by 1,000 tiny choices every week. Spinach and dark leafy greens belong on your plate, but try to savor them fresh or find new ways to use leftovers cold. Your body, especially as you age, deserves a little extra care and attention. After all, the goal isn't just living longer. It's feeling your best, staying independent, and having the energy to do what you love. So next time you're meal planning, think about giving yourself the gift of fresh cooked greens, even if it means spending a few more minutes in the kitchen. It's a simple act of kindness to yourself, one that can help you stay strong, sharp, and healthy. You've taken care of so many others in your life. Now's the time to care for yourself. 2. Cooked rice and grains. If you open any pantry across America, you'll find bags of rice, oats, and maybe some barley or quinoa, staples that have been comforting us through every stage of life. For many seniors, rice isn't just a side dish. It's a symbol of warmth and tradition. Whether you remember Sunday dinners with a big pot of fluffy white rice, or perhaps you've switched to brown rice or quinoa to eat healthy in retirement, there's a special satisfaction in cooking a little extra and saving it for the next day. After all, it's practical, it saves time, and it keeps grocery costs down. Here's the everyday scene. You cook a generous pot of rice or grains, planning for lunches or dinners during the week. Later, maybe you take out a cold serving from the fridge and warm it up in the microwave, just like always. It seems so harmless, even wise, something millions of us do every single week. But here's a question that might turn your thinking upside down. Is it safe to reheat cooked rice and grains, or could this well-intentioned habit be putting you at risk, especially as you get older? The surprising truth is that cooked rice and grains, when not stored and reheated correctly, can become a hidden health hazard. It's not just about taste or texture, and it doesn't matter if you prefer jasmine, basmati, brown rice, or even oatmeal. What's at stake is something you can't see or smell, a stubborn bacterium called Bacillus cereus. This microbe can survive the initial cooking process, then multiply rapidly if the rice or grains are left out too long at room temperature. When you reheat the rice, the heat may not be enough to kill all the toxins the bacteria have produced. Why does this matter for seniors? First, our immune systems naturally weaken as we age, and our bodies become less effective at fighting off infections. Bacillus cereus is notorious for causing food poisoning, symptoms like nausea, vomiting, stomach cramps, and even diarrhea, sometimes within just a few hours of eating reheated rice. While most healthy adults might recover quickly, these symptoms can hit older adults much harder, sometimes leading to dehydration or more serious complications. It's easy to overlook the risk. You might remember a time when food safety warnings seemed overblown, or when your family left rice on the stove for hours with no problem. But our understanding of food safety has grown, and so has the vulnerability of our bodies. The tricky thing is, contaminated rice or grains usually look and smell just fine. The danger is invisible, so we keep trusting our old habits. But don't worry, there's no need to give up rice or grains. The solution is simple and reassuring. After cooking, try to cool your rice or grains as quickly as possible. Don't leave them sitting out for more than an hour. Instead, transfer leftovers into shallow containers and put them straight into the refrigerator. When you're ready to reheat, make sure the rice is steaming hot all the way through, no cold spots. And if you're ever in doubt, remember, when in doubt, throw it out. It's not worth risking your health over a few spoonfuls of leftovers. Let me share a true story. Mr. Carter, a retired train conductor in Pennsylvania, loved making big pots of rice pudding. It was his signature dish, the kind his grandchildren asked for every holiday. He'd always save the extra and reheat it for days afterward. But one winter, after eating reheated pudding, Mr. Carter came down with a terrible bout of food poisoning that left him weak for weeks. After a long talk with his doctor and some new food safety tips, Mr. Carter changed his routine, cooling the rice fast, storing it in the fridge, and never reheating it more than once. He still enjoys his favorite dish, but now with peace of mind. The lesson here isn't about fear, but about wisdom, the kind that comes from a lifetime of looking out for others, and now for yourself. We're never too old to learn, and never too experienced to adopt a safer habit. Being mindful about how you store and reheat rice or grains is a small change, but one that can protect your well-being. So, the next time you make a pot of oatmeal, barley, or rice, give yourself the gift of extra care. Cool and store it quickly, and always heat it thoroughly before serving. If you're sharing a meal with friends or grandchildren, you'll know you're keeping everyone safe. Food should nourish, comfort, and bring us together, not send us to the doctor. You've already mastered a lifetime of challenges. This small step is just another way to show yourself a little kindness. After all, good health isn't just about what we eat, but how we care for every detail along the way. You deserve every delicious, safe, and joyful bite. 3. Processed meats like sausages and ham. For many Americans, the flavor of a sizzling sausage on a Sunday morning or the comfort of a ham sandwich at lunch is tied to family, tradition, and happy memories. Maybe you recall holidays with platters piled high with deli meats, or summer picnics with cold cuts and potato salad. These foods have a special place in our kitchens and our hearts, especially as we look for easy, satisfying meals in our later years. Picture this. You buy a few extra sausages or a big piece of ham, cook them up, and stash the leftovers in the fridge. The next day, you reheat a couple of slices for a quick breakfast, or maybe add them to a casserole for dinner. It feels practical, almost thrifty. After all, why let good food go to waste? For seniors living on a budget, making every meal count is part of smart, sensible living. But here's something you might not expect. Could reheating processed meats like sausages and ham make them more harmful to your health, instead of just less tasty? It's a question that challenges what we've always believed. After all, isn't it better to save food than throw it away? Yet doctors and food scientists are warning us to think twice, especially as we get older. Let's take a closer look at why. Processed meats are a marvel of convenience and flavor because they're cured, smoked, or treated with preservatives like nitrates and nitrites. These additives help keep meat fresh and give it that distinctive taste we love. But when processed meats are reheated, especially in the microwave or at high temperatures, the nitrates and nitrites can transform into a new group of chemicals called nitrosamines. Unlike the delicious smells that fill your kitchen, these compounds are invisible and can't be detected by taste or scent. Why do nitrosamines matter? Scientific research has found that nitrosamines are linked to an increased risk of several cancers, especially those of the colon, stomach, and pancreas. There's also evidence that they may harm blood vessels and, over time, contribute to cognitive problems. Seniors, with slower metabolisms and bodies less able to repair cellular damage, are particularly vulnerable to these effects. Add to this the extra salt and fats found in most processed meats, and you have a recipe that, if eaten and reheated often, can quietly chip away at your health. It's not just about one hot dog or a single slice of leftover ham. The risk builds over time, especially if reheating processed meats becomes a daily habit. For older adults, This can mean more digestive discomfort, higher blood pressure, and a greater chance of chronic illnesses we all want to avoid. So, what's the best way forward? The good news is, you don't have to give up your favorite foods entirely. Instead, try to enjoy processed meats fresh whenever possible. Cook only what you'll eat right away, and if you do have leftovers, eat them cold in a salad or sandwich rather than reheating them. If you must reheat, do it gently and only once, making sure the meat is thoroughly heated but not cooked to the point of being dry or burnt. Whenever possible, choose freshly prepared meats over processed ones, and mix up your meals with other sources of protein like eggs, beans, or fish. Let me share the story of Mr. Franklin, a retired firefighter from Texas. Franklin loved making big Sunday breakfasts for his grandkids: pancakes, eggs, and plenty of sausages. Leftovers were always saved for the week ahead. Over time, though, he started feeling more sluggish and developed persistent stomach aches. After a routine checkup, his doctor asked about his diet and explained the risks of repeatedly reheating processed meats. It was a surprise to Franklin, but he decided to change things up. He now cooks smaller batches, enjoys the sausages freshly made, and uses leftovers for cold sandwiches the next day. It wasn't a dramatic overhaul, just a simple switch. In a few months, Franklin noticed he felt better, his digestion improved, and his doctor was happy with his progress. Stories like Franklin's show us that small changes can add up to real improvements. As we age, we deserve every opportunity to feel strong, sharp, and independent. By being thoughtful about what and how we eat, we can protect the health we've worked a lifetime to enjoy. So, the next time you reach for that leftover sausage or slice of ham, remember, a little care goes a long way. Make the choice that keeps you well, not just today, but for all the days ahead. You've earned it. Eating should always be about pleasure, comfort, and good company. And with a few simple changes, it can also be about staying healthy and vibrant for years to come. 4. Potatoes. For most of us, potatoes are more than just food. They're a part of family history. Maybe you remember the comforting smell of baked potatoes from your childhood, or how mashed potatoes graced every holiday table. Whether it's a bowl of creamy potato salad at a summer picnic, crispy hash browns with your morning eggs, or a simple baked potato for dinner, this humble root vegetable has always brought a sense of comfort and satisfaction. And as we get older, the convenience of making extra potatoes to warm up later only seems practical and wise. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. It's easy to fall into the habit. Cook a big batch of roasted potatoes or boil a few extra for another meal. The leftovers are tucked into the fridge, waiting to be reheated for a quick lunch or dinner. For many seniors living alone or sharing meals with a spouse, saving time and money by stretching food just makes sense. But here's a question that's rarely asked. Is reheating potatoes safe? Or could this familiar routine, one we've relied on for years, quietly put our health at risk? The truth is, while potatoes themselves are wholesome and nourishing, reheating them can pose unexpected dangers, especially if they haven't been stored properly. It's not just about taste or texture. The real concern comes from how easily cooked potatoes can become a breeding ground for harmful bacteria and toxins if they're left out at room temperature for too long. One of the most notorious threats is a bacterium called Clostridium botulinum, the same culprit behind the rare but dangerous illness, botulism. This bacterium can thrive in low-oxygen environments, like a sealed container of cooked potatoes left to cool on the counter, and it produces toxins that aren't destroyed by reheating in the microwave or oven. You might think, I've been doing this for years and never had a problem. And it's true. Many people have gotten by just fine. But as we age, our bodies become less resilient to food-borne illnesses. What might be a minor stomach upset for a younger person could become a serious, even life-threatening issue for seniors, especially those with weakened immune systems or underlying health conditions. Food poisoning from contaminated potatoes can cause nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and, in severe cases, trouble breathing or muscle weakness. There's also another, less dramatic but still important risk. Reheating potatoes at high temperatures, especially when frying or microwaving, can lead to the formation of a chemical called acrylamide. This compound, created when starchy foods are cooked or reheated at high heat, has been linked in some studies to an increased risk of certain cancers and may even impact nerve health. Acrylamide can't be seen or tasted, but it's there, especially in browned or crisped potatoes that are cooked, cooled, and then reheated again. Thankfully, the solutions are straightforward to follow. First and foremost, never leave cooked potatoes sitting out at room temperature for more than an hour. After cooking, cool them quickly and store them in the refrigerator in a shallow, uncovered container until cold, then cover tightly. When you're ready to reheat, make sure they're steaming hot all the way through. Avoid reheating potatoes more than once, and if you notice any sour smell, odd color, or slimy texture, play it safe and throw them out. And if you love crispy potatoes, try to brown them just once, right before serving, rather than reheating already browned leftovers. Take, for example, Mrs. Thompson, a retired school nurse from Illinois. She used to cook a big pot of mashed potatoes every Sunday, then reheat small portions throughout the week. It seemed harmless, but she often found herself with an upset stomach and occasional bouts of nausea. After reading a health column about potato safety, Mrs. Thompson started cooling her potatoes quickly, storing them properly, and only reheating them once. The difference was almost immediate. Her digestion improved, and she felt more confident serving leftovers to her grandchildren. Stories like Mrs. Thompson's remind us that a little extra care goes a long way. There's no need to give up your favorite foods or the comfort of a familiar meal. With just a few adjustments, you can enjoy potatoes in all their forms, mashed, baked, roasted, or fried, without worry. Remember, staying healthy in your golden years is about honoring both your body and your traditions. You've always taken care of others, made smart choices, and found ways to make life a little easier. This small change is just another way to protect yourself and the ones you love. Every time you cook, cool, and reheat food safely, you're investing in more happy, healthy days to come. So the next time you reach for those leftover potatoes, pause for a moment. Store them with care, reheat them with confidence, and savor every bite knowing you're doing something good for your body. You deserve every moment of comfort, every meal shared with friends or family, and every bit of peace that comes from taking charge of your health, one simple step at a time. 5. Mushrooms. For many of us, mushrooms add that extra touch to a meal, a rich, earthy flavor that brings a simple omelet, a hearty stew, or a savory casserole to life. Maybe you remember learning how to sauté mushrooms with a little butter, or enjoying them in a holiday dish that's been passed down for generations. Mushrooms are praised for their health benefits, too. They're low in calories, packed with antioxidants, and offer important nutrients like B vitamins and selenium. For seniors hoping to eat lighter and add more plant-based foods, mushrooms often feel like the perfect choice. It's easy to fall into a routine. You buy a basket of fresh mushrooms, slice them up, and cook them into a big meal, maybe even intentionally making extra to enjoy throughout the week. After all, why not save time and effort? But here's a question you might not have considered. Is it safe to reheat cooked mushrooms, or could this everyday habit be quietly putting your health at risk, especially as you get older? Surprisingly, mushrooms are different from many other vegetables. Their unique makeup, full of delicate proteins and sensitive compounds, means they don't always play nicely with the reheating process. When cooked mushrooms cool down and are later reheated, especially at high temperatures, their proteins and enzymes can start to break down and form new substances, some of which can be difficult for our bodies to process. For seniors, whose digestive systems may not be as robust as they once were, this can sometimes lead to stomach upset or digestive discomfort that's easy to blame on getting older. There's another reason to be careful. Mushrooms have a high water content, which makes them especially vulnerable to bacterial growth if left out too long after cooking. If you cook a dish with mushrooms and let it sit at room temperature for a couple of hours, something that happens more often than we think, harmful bacteria can multiply rapidly. Reheating might kill some bacteria, but not always the toxins they've already produced. For older adults, these toxins can cause nausea, cramps, and even more serious health problems. But the potential risk doesn't stop there. Scientists have found that reheating mushrooms can sometimes cause the release of compounds that may stress your liver and other organs, especially when this becomes a regular habit. While a single serving of reheated mushrooms might not spell disaster, it's the small, repeated exposures that can slowly chip away at your health over time, something we all want to avoid. Now, does this mean you have to stop enjoying mushrooms? Not at all. The key is simply to handle and store them with a bit more care. The best way to enjoy mushrooms safely is to cook only as much as you'll eat in one sitting. If you do have leftovers, cool them quickly and store them in the refrigerator within an hour. When reheating, do it just once and make sure the food is steaming hot all the way through. If you notice any change in color, texture, or smell, it's safest to discard them. Better safe than sorry. Let me tell you about Mrs. Jennings, a retired artist in California. She loved cooking mushroom risotto for herself and her friends, always making a big pot to enjoy over several days. But she began to notice that every time she ate the reheated leftovers, she felt bloated and uncomfortable. At first, she shrugged it off as a part of aging, but her doctor suggested looking at how she handled her food. After a bit of research and a change in routine, smaller batches of risotto, careful storage, and eating leftovers within a day, Mrs. Jennings found that her discomfort disappeared. She still enjoys her favorite meal, but with a newfound sense of confidence and well-being. It's a gentle reminder that good health in our later years isn't just about what we eat, but also how we prepare and enjoy our meals. With mushrooms and many foods, a little care in storage and reheating can make all the difference. Don't let old habits quietly undermine your efforts to stay healthy and vibrant. You've spent a lifetime looking out for others. Now it's time to look out for yourself, too. So, the next time you savor the rich flavor of mushrooms, remember, a fresh meal is always best. If you must save some for later, store them safely and enjoy those leftovers soon. Your body will thank you, giving you more energy and fewer worries to cloud your day. After all, every meal is another chance to care for yourself, to honor the life and wisdom you've gathered, and to enjoy the simple pleasures that make each day special. A little mindfulness with mushrooms, and with every meal, can help you savor not just good food, but good health, well into your golden years. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. If there's one thing experience teaches us, it's that the smallest daily choices can make the biggest difference in our well-being. When it comes to food, those habits, how we store, reheat, and serve our meals, can quietly protect our health, giving us more comfort, confidence, and energy as we age. Many of us grew up in a time when leftovers were simply left on the counter to cool, or a big pot of soup would sit on the stove for hours. Back then, food waste was unthinkable, and every bit of a meal was precious. But times have changed, and so has our understanding of food safety, especially for seniors whose bodies may not fight off infections as easily as they used to. So, what are the best ways to enjoy your favorite foods and keep yourself safe? It all begins with how you handle leftovers. Whenever you finish a meal, try to cool the food as quickly as possible. Don't leave it sitting out on the counter for hours. Instead, transfer hot dishes into shallow containers, which help food cool faster, and place them in the refrigerator promptly. This simple step is one of the most powerful defenses against bacteria that can multiply quickly at room temperature, especially in dishes like rice, potatoes, and casseroles. It might feel like a small inconvenience, but consider this. Bacteria that cause foodborne illness can double in just 20 minutes when food is left out. For seniors, whose immune systems are more fragile, even a mild case of food poisoning can turn into something serious. Cooling food quickly and refrigerating it promptly is a habit that gives you peace of mind, making every meal a safer one. Another gentle reminder: avoid leaving any food, especially cooked vegetables, meats, or grains out at room temperature for more than an hour or two. It might seem like nothing's changed if your kitchen still smells fine, but harmful bacteria and toxins are invisible. By getting food into the fridge as soon as possible, you take a simple but crucial step to protect yourself. When it comes time to reheat leftovers, a little extra care goes a long way. The goal isn't just to make food warm, but to ensure it's heated evenly and thoroughly. Microwaves can sometimes leave cold spots where bacteria survive, so stir soups and stews well, and let the food sit a moment so heat can spread. Make sure your leftovers are piping hot throughout. Steaming is a good sign. If you have a kitchen thermometer, food should reach at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit to be safe. And as tempting as it is to reheat something more than once, it's best to only do so a single time. With each reheating and cooling, the risk of bacterial growth increases. A helpful trick is to prepare meal portions that suit your needs for a day or two, rather than cooking huge batches that linger in the fridge all week. Not only does this reduce the temptation to reheat food repeatedly, but it also means your meals will taste fresher and keep more of their nutrition. For those living alone or with just one other person, try having recipes or freezing individual servings so you always have something quick and safe on hand. And let's not forget the simple pleasures of fresh eating. Whenever possible, enjoy fruits, salads, and freshly cooked dishes, which rarely need reheating and are full of flavor and nutrients. Balance those with gentle hydration. Plenty of water, herbal teas, or brothy soups help digestion and keep you feeling your best. All these steps are more than just rules. They're a quiet way of caring for yourself, honoring the wisdom you've gathered through the years. You're not just preventing illness. You're building a foundation for more enjoyable, worry-free meals. Good food, eaten safely, is a gift to yourself and those you share your table with. Take a lesson from Mr. Ruiz, a retired postman in Arizona, who used to cook big pots of chili and let them cool on the counter overnight, just like his mother did. After a mild case of food poisoning that left him weak for days, he changed his habits, cooling his meals quickly, storing smaller portions, and making reheating a one-time event. It's a small thing, he says, but now I feel better after every meal, and I worry less. In the end, taking care with food isn't about being afraid or giving up your favorite traditions. It's about living with intention, using every meal as a chance to nurture yourself. The effort is small, the rewards are great, and you deserve every one of them. Your kitchen, your meals, and your well-being are all in your hands. So the next time you prepare dinner, take an extra moment to cool, store, and reheat with care. Your body will thank you for it, and you'll find a little more peace and pleasure in each bite, knowing you're taking the very best care of yourself every single day. As we wrap up, remember that taking care of your health starts right in your kitchen. The small habits you adopt, how you store your food, how you reheat your leftovers, and the choices you make about what to eat, can have a big impact on your well-being. It's not about perfection or fear, but about gentle mindfulness and kindness toward yourself. After all, you've spent a lifetime caring for others. Now it's time to care for the most important person, yourself. The foods we talked about today, spinach, rice, processed meats, potatoes, and mushrooms, are delicious and nourishing when prepared and handled safely. By paying attention to how you cool, store, and reheat them, you can enjoy their benefits without worry. These simple changes can help protect you from hidden risks and keep you feeling strong, energetic, and independent. Health is a journey, not a destination. Each step you take towards safer eating is a step toward a happier, more vibrant life. So, take pride in these small wins. Celebrate your wisdom in making choices that honor your body and your years. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe so we can continue this journey together. And I'd love to hear from you. What's one new habit you'll try starting today to keep your meals safe and your body healthy? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Here's to your health, happiness, and many wonderful meals ahead. Take care, and see you in the next video.